No! We can't use this money. This is our son's tuition.
But the roof can't hold up any longer. Our house is about to collapse. You have to make the decision.
Why do I work hard my whole life, but still doesn't have enough money for my family?
People often say, if you work hard, life will reward you. But no one tells you this part. Some people work hard their entire lives and still stay poor. This is the story of a farmer who learned that lesson the hard way, not from books, not from teachers, but from hunger, exhaustion, and one small decision that changed everything. Listen till the end, because this story may change the way you think about hard working forever. In a rural village near a huge farmland, there lived a farmer called John. He was 42 years old enough to be tired, young enough to still hope. His life followed the same pattern every day. Every morning before sunrise, John grabbed his tools and walked to the fields. The earth was his workplace. The sun was his clock. He worked hard, harder than most people he knew. But at the end of every month, his pockets were still empty. The house that he was living in with his family was in bad condition. It wasn't falling apart, but it was always almost falling. When it rained, water leaked through the roof. When it was cold, the walls didn't protect much. His wife never complained, but their meals showed her desperation. There always rice, vegetables, sometimes eggs. Meat was rare. New clothes were rare. Rest was rare. At night, John lay on the floor, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sound of insects outside. He asked himself the same question again and again. Why is working hard never enough? People in the village always told him, try to save more money. Don't spend too much. John tried to follow their advice. Whenever he earned a little extra, he hid it away. Coins carefully put in a tin box. He stopped buying small joys. No tea at the roadside stall. No treats for the children. Gradually his tin box got bigger. Saving made him feel responsible. Saving made him feel like he was doing the right thing. But life doesn't seem to give a chance to John's tin box to be full. One month, his son got sick. Medicine costs money. Another month, another terrible crack appears on the roof. Repair cost money. Another month, prices went up. Rice, food, candles. All became more expensive. John opened his tin box more often and he added to it. The money disappeared quietly, just like water seeping into dry soil. One evening, after a long day in the fields, John came home late. His son was sitting on the table, doing homework by candlelight. The son looked up and asked softly,
Papa, if I don't go to school next year, will it help?
John surprised.
You mean?
The boy shrugged.
If I don't go to school, you don't have to buy books or uniforms.
John felt something tighten in his chest. That night, John couldn't sleep. His body was tired, but his mind was heavier. He understood something painful. He was running every day, but he was running in a circle of work, money, expenses, and nothing left. Saving money did not change the circle. It only slowed the fall. He needed something different. Not harder work, but smarter work. A few days later, John visited a nearby village to help with harvesting. On the way home, he passed a small pond. He saw an old man calmly pulling up his fishing net. Inside were fish, alive, moving. John told him in respect,
You must have worked hard to have these fish.
The old man smiled and said,
I don't fish every day, but the pond works, even when I rest.
Those words that the old man said stayed in John's mind. That night, John went home and opened his tin box. There wasn't much inside, but it was everything he had. Instead of saving it again, he did something that scared him. He used the money. He bought 2 young ducks. Small, noisy, and awkward little ducks. When John returned home, his wife looked at the ducks and asked.
Are you sure about this?
John wasn't sure, but he said yes. The ducks needed food, care, protection. Taking care of them took all his little spare time. Some days, John felt he was foolish. More work, more worry. But slowly, the ducks grew up every day. And one day, they laid eggs. At first, there were a few eggs. Time passed, it got more and more. John's wife took some eggs for their meals, and they sold the rest at the market. For the first time, money came back and didn't disappear immediately. John started writing things down. The number of eggs collected, eggs sold, money earned. Finally, he saw patterns. He saw progress. The ducks worked even when he was tired, even when the sun went down. They were small, but they were alive, and they produced. With the extra income from selling eggs, John slowly bought more ducks for the yard. Then he fixed part of the roof, patching holes that once leaked rain. He also bought better feed so the ducks could grow stronger. One day, neighbors noticed the changes and began to whisper, calling him lucky these days. But only John knew the truth deep inside. That was definitely not the luck gave him all this. Luck did not wake up early before sunrise to start working. Luck did not feed the ducks or carry water for them every single day. And luck didn't take risks or spend everything on 2 small ducks. One late afternoon, John sat with his son in the yard. The ducks moved quietly around them. John calmly looked at the ducks, then looked at his son and said,
Money is quiet when it works. It only makes noise when it's gone.
So is saving bad, Papa?
His son asked. John smiled softly.
No. Saving protects you for a moment, but growing money protects you for life.
John hasn't become rich yet, but he became stable, calm and hopeful. And that was enough. Because true wealth is not how much you hold, but how much you build. If this story feels familiar to you, it's because John is not just one man. He is millions of people. People who wake up early. People who work honestly. People who do everything right and still feel stuck. This story is not telling you to stop working hard. Hard work matters, but hard work without direction is like pouring water into the sand. It disappears. Sometimes the most dangerous thing is not risk, but staying exactly where you are. Real change doesn't always come from working more hours. Sometimes it comes from one small shift in thinking. Don't just survive day to day. Don't just save what little you have. Build something, even if it's small, because small growth, done consistently, can change everything. If you want more powerful stories like this, stories about real people, real struggles, and quiet lessons that can change a life, then like the video and subscribe to support the channel.